Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for June 15, 2022, the Nigeria Loses edition. And we begin with this story. Nigeria had sought a $1.7 billion refund from JPMorgan in litigation in the United Kingdom, claiming the funds would restore money stolen by former officials who looted a bank account when JPMorgan allowed the money to be transferred out. A court in the United Kingdom denied this claim, saying she could not conclude that the Nigerian officials who ordered the money transfer had committed fraud. She added that Morgan had flagged the transaction to regulators as potentially related to criminal activity, but it did not breach its duty under British law to protect customers by completing them. This was a transaction which had unattractive features, but those unattractive features and an association with past corruption cannot be enough. So this was obviously a setback for the Nigerian government to get money back. It's a setback in the global fight against corruption as well. Perhaps the next lawsuit will be more successful. Next up from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Richard Vanderpoort reporting the U.S. and the United Kingdom will collaborate to spur innovation in ComTech used to fight money laundering. His new program is designed to develop more robust machine learning technologies to help governments and financial institutions tackle money laundering and other crimes while retaining data privacy. The White House and UK government announced this collaboration on a prize challenge meant to spur innovation, and the prize challenge programs provide financial rewards to members of the public who offer solutions posed by a government agency. Both countries require financial institutions to detect and report suspicious transactions, and this will help in that overall fight. Next up, from Reuters, a piece on ESG in credit agreements, and it takes a look at sustainability-linked metrics. Obviously, these are on the increase, and now they're being written into credit agreements, and readers, or rather listeners to this podcast, will understand the significance of this going forward, as it can lead to higher or lower interest rates going forward if companies hit key KPIs largely in the E, but also in the S and G of ESG. So an interesting development in credit agreements around ESG. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.